Welcome to Bear Facts on Guns.
Do a sideways cap.
We will be
Think
going.
people will take me seriously if I?
Yeah, I think you're fine.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Like
Holmes.
most people cannot see me.
Right. That is correct.
I could probably come in
looks-
here naked and nobody would know.
It looks good for
Except
a
for my
radio. Looks good
family
for a radio
watching.
show. Well, they don't know if you have pants on now.
I don't.
So there you go.
That's what you requested specifically.
Speaking of gun show,
Yeah, exactly. Let me show you my pistol.
All right, let's rock this thing out here. Welcome to the Bear Facts on Guns, where host Derek Baer and his guests are locked and loaded to educate, inspire, and answer your questions about firearms. Today, when is it? What's the definition of what's the definition of defending yourself? I didn't write it down.
It's okay.
That's my bad. It's all good. Welcome back, brother.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And Ken, completely okay. It's okay.
Something definition, something defending.
Something. I don't know.
Tommy O, how are you? Oh, Tammy. Sorry about that.
Wow, Tammy O. That's a good one. Oh, that's a new one.
That's
Tammy
it.
O.
Tammy
O. Hey, Kiki. Hey, honey.
Jessica.
Hey, Jess.
That's it.
All right, everyone's jumping
so
in.
Was Ted honey or was
shared
Kiki?
it out? Thanks, Ted. Appreciate
so
that.
Like, hey,
shout
Kiki,
out
hey, honey. So was Ted honey?
Yeah, actually, you were honey on there as well.
Okay.
So we're just gonna start with there on there as well. So for those of you tuning in and watching Facebook Live, yes, I have lost my beard, and for the radio folks out there that are listening in, I have a baby face right now, and I have no hair. So it's
stranger danger.
I look like a giant penis. That's the best definition I've gotten out of it as well.
You look great, man. Bald's beautiful, man.
Oh yeah, look at you. Yeah, but yours is like naturally bald. Mine's like, I'm forcefully trying to make myself look cool. But the good thing is, what did you say?
I've also tried to grow the beard out. I haven't shaved it for like over a month, and I'm going to tonight. It's gross. I can't. It's too long.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny.
Put the hat back on.
Yeah, Kiki's she's yelling at me. She's yelling at me already. And I got Elise right here. Shout out to my sister and Ryan. They're YouTubing on a hill right now as we speak. Dedicated watchers. I like that, man. Appreciate that. Shout out from New York to that as well.
Bear down, because you're going to get some snow over there.
Yeah, here or over there?
Over there on the East Coast.
They always get snow. The town I grew up in is in between two large lakes, so Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, and then you got the Finger Lakes region all in there, and it's a hit or miss, right? So Buffalo gets hit all the time, Syracuse gets hit all the time, but there's this weird strip in the middle between Buffalo and Syracuse is where I grew up, and it's gorgeous, right? It's beautiful, yeah, a little strip. Nobody can see me doing that, but people on Facebook, so I can do it to the mic if you want me to. So at the end of the day, it's like a hit or miss if you get nailed on it as well. And my dad lives really far down south near the Pennsylvania border, and he gets hit with like 18, 20 inches of snow all the time as well. So no, Ken got through the hard part with the beard. Yeah, Josh, you're so right. And it's so funny because we were talking about in the screen room, obviously, because I'm used to it now, right? Because I've had it. I've stared myself in the face a couple times in the mirror. Once every 3 days, I look at myself in the mirror because I don't want to do that.
I didn't know your nose was so big.
Yeah, you know what? Is it myth or truth that noses grow over time?
Oh yeah, when you get older, yeah.
Because I don't think I had a big nose.
No.
My brother does. My dad does. The Italian nose on them and stuff like that. I don't. I didn't, and it's getting longer every year.
Yeah, your hair grows fast, so it'll be back in about a couple weeks.
It's just temporary. So for those of you who don't know, I did a St. Baldrick's event this last weekend. And for those that follow me on Facebook, you'll see the Facebook picture is me. I did the old man shave on the top. So it was fun, right?
The hair
halo. It was fun. And shout out to Mike for going out. Shout out to Lucy. Your daughter was there as well. Mike's daughter was there also. And my wife was there as well. and we raised a whole bunch of money for this cancer patient who's a child. And my profile picture is her as well. And I can't believe she made it there, number one, because she wasn't really expected to be there. You can definitely tell that she's weak, and she made it there and stood up there. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at her as they're about to shave. And the announcer lady or the DJ came up and said, why would you do something like this? And I'm just like, I'm looking at this kid going, this is the kid that's in front of me is why. Like there's no,
I'm strength.
Huh?
You want to talk about strength?
I mean, yeah, mine's easy. I'm just shaving my beard off and shaving my hair off. It's an inconvenience, and people make fun of me all day long, especially in my office and all my friends and family, which is fine. This girl's got to go through chemo and got to deal with that and go through what she needs to do. She's really the strongest person out there. I give her $1 million if I could. Like, you know what I mean? Like, make the pain go away. So she's strong individual. Family was all around her as well. And so many people showed up. It was such a good event. I got $500 to shave my beard off, which was the biggest part about it. So we raised an extra $500 right on the spot, and we raised a whole bunch more money for that for different things.
And I love the Wolverine look.
That was so cool. So I did like the Hulk Hogan. I wanted to know what I looked like when I'm 80, and I told Kiki, well, this is what I'm gonna look like, and I'm gonna grow it out as far as I can down the sides so that the top of it's bald, just to make her uncomfortable. And she hates me with short hair.
Oh yeah,
and she likes the shorter beard. She didn't like my full beard, but she does like a little bit of extra stubble is what I'm going to call that on there as well. So yeah, it was a great cause. I can't shout enough St. Baldrick's for everything that they do for kids that are in need. And it's only for one day, but they got to deal with that every single day. And I can't. It definitely makes you humble for life in general. For sure. So. Again, welcome to the show again. Thank you so much. Share it out there, Ted. I saw you share it out there. Really appreciate it. So like, comment, follow. If you guys have questions on stuff, please shout out. So I just have a couple follow-up stuff. What happened? Your head looks like too small for your body.
He says your head.
She's such a savage.
Too small for your body now.
You know what's funny?
Hey, does this tie make my face?
Yeah. Fat guy, little coat. Yeah. So my biggest, like, everyone makes fun of me in different ways for different things. And the one that hurts the most is my wife, because she knows how to go deep on it. Right. So she's like, your head looks too small. I didn't have one other person in this world tell me that since so far that my head looks too small for my body. Now, maybe people are being polite and nice, but I'm pretty sure my staff would go ham on me anytime that they want to with that kind of stuff. And that's it too well. So that's my brother right there. Brandon, shout out to you, buddy. Bobblehead. That's awesome. Welcome into the show, Tony. Thank you so much for joining. So, enough with my penis head. We're going to start there. So, because that's my favorite one to laugh at, because I knew it was going to look like that. We had an interesting week with, a couple of different things going on. Obviously, everyone understands the Ukraine situation, and shout out to the Ukrainian people for staying strong and staying vigilant when it comes to protecting their homeland. We actually were able to, thank you, Brandon, love you too. We were able to send 12 suitcases full of medical supplies and everything to Ukraine. My business partner, Art, is from Ukraine, and he has his grandma there, and his wife, Olena, has her parents there and some family and friends there as well. And Ted, wives always know everything. They know how to hit the nail right on the head every single time when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's hard over there, right? So we talked about it last show. We kind of got into a little bit of detail. There's a lot more details that came into, but a lot of Art's friends are staying. They're not leaving. They're staying, and they're fighting for their homes and going through what they need to do to take care of it. The hard part is they just run out of stuff so quickly, because it's not like here where you can just go to different stores and be able to jump in and pick up the supplies that you need to be able to fight a war that you're completely not prepared for in any way, shape, or form. The government's shooting out all these guns to everyone that they possibly can. They're literally handing them out on the street. Nobody knows how to use them. So when you live in a country that has suppressed gun rights for so long, being the Soviet Union and being communism and switching over and learning laws and democracy and voting and all that kind of stuff that kind of goes into what we all take advantage of every single day, in my opinion, now goes away. So now you have to fight for your freedom to be in the country, for whether you agree with the war or not, which, obviously y'all know my stance on that. But you now have to put somebody in an uncomfortable situation that doesn't know how to operate a firearm and doesn't have bullets for it or understand how to fill those voids on there. So Art sent over scopes across seas as well, because we can't ship guns to them, right? And nor would I want to, because I don't know where they're going to, and I don't know that I could sleep at night not teaching somebody how to use a firearm before they use it. So he shipped some scopes over there. He battery packs, inverters, car inverters, medical supplies, all that kind of stuff, IVs and all that. So we sent 12. We get it into Poland, and then from Poland it goes over to Ukraine to get into there. And there's a whole system and that's set up for that. So shout out to Poland out there for doing the right thing for a country that is fighting for its life right now is what I'm going to say. So I can't. We have some Polish workers that work for us, and we hear about it on the news every single day. At the end of the day, is why we need to protect the Second Amendment so much in our country. Russia's not that far away from us either. It's just on the other side. So California to Russia is a couple hundred. I think it's a couple hundred miles to hit.
Even closer, Alaska.
Yeah, Alaska. So Alaska can be pretty easily. Not that you really want to take over Alaska, but it's the first step into the gateway to Canada, which is then the gateway to us. So is whether you like it or not, where we think of Russia being around the world, which they are, but their mass and how big they are is right in our backyard too. And it's not just about one country. It's about the North or South people decide, Canadians or Mexico decides to cause an issue, that's going to be at our front door. And what are you going to do? Are you going to stand for your fight or are you going to run? Where are you going to run to? Canada? I'm pretty sure Canada won't let us in. Right. And Mexico, pretty sure Mexico's not going to let us in either. So you're kind of stuck in the middle grounds and making sure. So today's show is really more about like that protection of freedom when it comes down to what does it mean to protect. And not this past Sunday, the previous Sunday, just to show you how close things like this happen. And we talked, I don't know, it was 6 months ago, 31 right up the street here, where they just popped off like 20 rounds or something like that. Well, Streamwood's not too far away from us as well. And there's a road rage incident that happened with an HVAC contractor in his work truck that had a road rage incident with another car on the road and ended up stopping. The HVAC tech decided to get out of his car and confront the person and actually walk up to that person's car. Now, the sad thing about this is this was all captured on camera by a bystander in another car right directly behind that person. So I was able to watch the entirety of what happened from that point when he started recording to what happened in the end. And so he got out, verbally altercation. He then stuck his hand in the car in a fist and looks like he punched the guy. And you hear 2 shots go off. Bang, bang, pop, pop. Yep. And this guy clenches his chest and falls into the middle of the road, and later found out that he passed away from his wounds. So this gentleman that had an altercation has now just ended somebody's life. Fast forward, I think it was a couple hours. They already apprehended the person because that guy left the scene. He didn't stay there. Not good. I know. So multitude of different things that go on here. Well, they found out it was an 18-year-old kid. And I say 18-year-old kid because in the eyes of the law, 21 is the concealed carry
here in Illinois.
Illinois. So obviously he doesn't have a concealed carry license to be able to even have that firearm in the car.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to be the first to admit this, and my wife can attest for this. I have road rage at times too. The first thing that I don't think about is grabbing my firearm and doing anything with it. Just FYI. My first thing is to confront the person that's causing an issue. And this just makes you realize that that's probably not the best idea going forward, because you get in these situations, and it seemed like this guy just wanted to yell at this guy and maybe punch him, get in a fight, and then move on with life. Well, he's not going home to his family at all. And an 18-year-old who doesn't have the proper training to know when to defend yourself has now just stopped themselves from, he got arrested. He's got murder charges on him now, and rightfully so. And Kiki says it perfect, or just speed around them, which is correct in our car, right, Kiki? We can just speed around them. But if you don't have a fast enough car and the car that's causing the issue has a faster car, speeding around them is not always going to be the issue. Sometimes it's just back off. back off completely, let the person go. I would turn into another gas station and just cool off yourself, grab a drink, grab gas, whatever. Get the police on the phone if you have an altercation.
Grab a
and it's
drink. Grabbing gas could piss you off too.
Yeah, right now it could be pretty bad. What's gas, by the way?
It's too much.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I'm just saying it gas in general because I don't.
Yeah, it's over
filled
$4.
up a tank.
It's over $4 a gallon.
I know, but isn't it like I heard it's like 9 in California?
It could be.
Yeah, I don't know. California's really bad as well.
Hey, Shayna, how are you? Shayna says our guns are no match against new military tech. The protection will be against humanity under extreme conditions. Gun rights have never been more important, regardless of training. LMO.
Yeah, in my opinion.
IMO.
Yeah, it's okay.
Was.
And you're not right, Shayna. So can you pull
You're
her
not
comment?
right or you're not
No,
wrong?
I'm not. You're not wrong. I meant to say. So I want to tackle a little bit of stuff in here too. So our guns are no match to new military tech. So Shayna, are you talking about military tech within our country or military tech in the world? Because what we found really quickly with the Russia and Ukraine war that's happening right now is Ukraine does not have an air force at all, and the air force that Russia has is not that good. And on top of that, the tanks that Russia have are terrible. And the organization, okay, the organization of actually infiltrating different areas is horrible also. It's almost like they don't have a plan with what they're trying to do other than just do brute force by means of everything. Now, the crazy part of this, 75% of Russian military is invading Ukraine at this moment, leaving 25% of Russia's military in Russia to defend its own country. You know, China's right next door, right? Wouldn't that be a coup if China decided to say, I just want Russia to be our China.
Time to move the fence.
It would be the time to do it, China, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be ready for it, and that's it. So, Shane, I do want to.
We're not condoning war. We're just talking about.
We're just talking about it. So yeah, that's a good. I don't. Okay. What am I gonna get in trouble for?
Nope. Just don't want to be silenced on any of the channels.
Oh, my bad. Okay,
you know
cool.
what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, we don't have our First Amendment right here. I'm just kidding. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Don't hear that, Facebook.
Never mind.
So protection against humanity under extreme conditions, 100% correct with that. Gun laws have never been more important, regardless of training. So, Shana, I want to know, gun rights have never been more important.
Right.
So I agree 100%. Gun rights should be important. The training part of it is the more important part of it. To require that or not should be just your humanity of owning a firearm, just like owning a car. You learn how to drive the car. You don't just get in the car for the first time and take off and expect to know everything. You really need to understand how things work and go through how a firearm is working from start to finish on there as well. So if you want to do the next comment there. All right, Mom, you got road rage equals stop. Just don't do it. Okay, I agree.
Ted says it's sad that people don't educate on how to handle the issue. Peace is always the first option.
It is, and emotions take over, right? So Facebook is notorious, obviously, for keyboard warriors out there, right? So, and people like to bash other people and talk snot and do everything else, and they're more than welcome to their opinion. At the same time, you have to not take offense to it. On the road, what does it matter? You're all traveling down the same road. And just FYI, you being there first at the stoplight does not mean anything at all. And again, I'm not one to talk about it because I definitely do not like a slow driver in front of me, especially if the speed limit's 45 and you're doing 42. I'm going to have some choice words in my car to do it. At the same time, I'm going to be an adult about it and not literally pull a firearm on you and cause a big issue and go through what it is.
My dad taught me when I was learning to drive is, where are you going? Okay, I'm going across town. Okay, 5 miles, right? Whatever. Speed limit is 25 miles an hour. You go 40. How much quicker do you get there?
You just feel quicker.
Do you get there about a half hour more, Kent?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I think no, literally seconds. You get there 10 seconds,
Yep.
And so you kind of look at it and that's where I learned, like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Yeah, I guess I don't need to have that road rage.
The only rush I'm ever in is because of me.
Yeah.
I was late. I was almost late to a meeting today, and then I need to make up the time for being late because my inability to manage time throughout my day, which comes down to it as well. At the same time, I like to drive fast, so there's an exhilaration part of it for me that it suits my needs on there as well. But I won't do it in an unsafe manner, right? If there's a bunch of traffic out there and stuff like that, I'm not gonna drive like an idiot.
Oh no, you wouldn't do Papa Wheelie and all that
No,
traffic.
no, no. What are you talking about?
No, I do
Yeah,
it
but I
very
don't do that
safely.
stuff in traffic, man. Oh wait, I wasn't supposed to say that. I've never done that. I don't know what a wheelie is.
That's right.
Buffalo Grove Police Department, shout out for letting me go last time. They did. Kiki was with me. Pulled us both over. It was too funny. All right, Shayna, what do you got for what she said?
Yeah, so Shannon says neurotechnology and autonomous drones. We're probably all doing it.
You see, what I've realized with this particular incident and war that's happening right now across seas, I thought they would have stuff like that set up, ready to go, drones, sneak attacks, missiles, all that kind of stuff. Yes, Mom, I did slide under a track trailer. Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah, but listen, if all I've got to do is push a button,
yeah,
I don't need to bolster my military, right?
No.
It's the bully concept. Hey, yeah, I got them.
Yep.
I'm just about crazy enough to use them.
Yeah, for sure.
So please
push the button.
Let's play.
Yeah.
Right.
So America definitely has that technology. Like sure. we definitely have drone technology. We already see it out there, and they have the drones that can fly for 24 hours at a time and refuel in the air with not a single person on there. And in my opinion with that, that's probably the best war to have, right? As long as there's no casualties. So if war consisted, the new age war consisted of drones fighting each other and people weren't lost and it was just whose drone was better than the other, why don't we all just play video games and call it a war and then just call it a day? There's no loss of life.
Right. Play chess, do something.
Yeah, whatever game you need to play to feel victorious over the other person on that end of it. At the same time, this place is getting bombed, apartment buildings, maternity centers, hospitals. Like there's no rules right now for this. And that's really not a good part of it. So when it comes to defending you and what you're defending, that stuff really matters for hand-to-hand combat.
Yes.
I want to defend my house. There's no reason for another country to bomb my house. We don't live in an apartment building with 700 people. That's a huge skyscraper or whatever the situation is. We're in the middle of nowhere, really. There's no like valuable turning points in our area to be able to do that, especially up here too. Like
mine too. My places.
Yeah, you're in the middle of nowhere. Like
I got a cornfield
in the sticks. Yeah, like you take over the farmer's land. Congratulations. You probably just could have asked them to buy it for $10. Yeah. Wolverine. I love that movie. Red Dawn's a good one. That's how I'm not gonna get into it.
Squirrel.
Yeah. No squirrel. What did Mom say here?
She said, it's being played out instantly on social media. What a time we live in, good and bad, no filter. Well, that's a whole different show. If you want to tune in, maybe to the grounds or something like that. Bonnie says, "Hey, Derek, hi, how are you?"
Yes. Awesome.
And then says, "What's up, Derek?"
Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing, bud?
Sebastian.
Yeah, he's my buddy. Great photographer, by the way. He used to take photos of us riding. I got some good pictures from him. So
that's a whole different thing for a whole different day.
It is a whole different show. The collaboration of people around the world that I saw is cool, right? So I saw Facebook turn yellow and blue overnight. I saw a lot of organization from what we can do to help. Being able to even get supplies over to them from us is a good feeling. And at the same time, I saw people get creative, right? So TikTok's a fun thing for me because it's just people's minds on creativity all the time.
I love it too.
And hi, Grandma, how are you? I saw them booking Airbnbs across seas in Ukraine to get money to the people that they need to do. Like those are some creative things that you just can't think of. Did you hear about that too, or no?
No, I'm laughing because people here in Illinois are throwing out vodka that was brewed in Illinois.
Yeah. and it just had a Russian label on the front of it.
Right.
Do your research, people, before you jump on a bandwagon of whatever Facebook tells you. And by the way, 90% of what Facebook says is a freaking lie, or a propaganda to push you a certain way. So we've all proven it as well. And then we have people like Alec Baldwin that's sitting out there and, shot a girl in the face, and he's not even in jail still. I'm going to say that every show until he's arrested, by the way. Yeah, he's sitting at home.
He's sitting at home sipping on some White Russians.
Yeah, seriously. Think about that.
Too soon?
Nope, not too soon. Yep, two things I'm not good with. So that's all that matters. So back to our main topic here, which is down to, we went down a serious rabbit hole right there. Main topic is, when is it right to defend yourself? Right. For those of you in the comments that can comment in, I would like to see what your definition of when it is okay to pull your firearm from your holster and point it at somebody.
Yeah. So in this situation, just to recap, dude in a work truck cut a guy off, or the other guy cut the other guy off?
I don't think I didn't get to see that part of the video, so I'm not. It's unclear. I'm going to just say that because I don't have the facts on it, and I don't like to stick.
So the guy in the work truck is behind the gentleman?
In front.
Oh, so he
ended up in front of him. Yep.
So maybe the other guy had cut him off or something like that. I'm going to pull in front of you with my work truck.
Yep.
I'm upset. I get out. I confront you.
Yep.
And I reach into your car to punch you.
Yep.
And then pop, pop.
Yep.
And down I go.
Yep.
All right, and we're not going to talk about that the kid was too young to have a gun. So we're not talking about that. You're asking us, when is it right to defend yourself of that nature?
What is the legal definition? So obviously this guy got arrested, right?
Yeah.
So the prosecutors have now said, I have enough evidence. The only reason you get arrested most of the time, I'm gonna say it out loud, the way the justice system works is you do not get arrested until you have the means for a prosecution to stand behind, where the DA can say, I can successfully prosecute you without losing this case, because the DA is not going to jump into a losing case. And so, yes, the question out there is, and I'm going to give it a couple minutes. I'm going to answer Sebastian's question real quick here too. The question is when is it appropriate in your guys' eyes to pull your firearm and point it at somebody? I'm not talking about shooting somebody. I'm just talking about pulling your firearm out of your pocket.
So Sebastian says, Bear, I want to buy a gun. I need to get with you about proper handgun knowledge.
Beautiful. Love it. You can always hit me up after the show, bud. Well, I'll be more than happy to get you on the right path and with the right people to make sure that happens. And a lot of them in our writing community, actually. So Michael Shin, my lawyer, was on. He's got a great thing going on down south with a whole bunch of stuff, but up north here, I got stuff too for you. So we got you all squared away. So
Shannon says, I believe when your life is threatened, or you believe it is.
Okay. It's a good terminology and a really good play on words, right? Because I'm going to use that term because when you believe it is. So what you believe versus what the eyes of the law are two things, right? And everyone has their own entitled to own opinions. I do believe that this kid probably thought it was justified in his eyes because this guy reached into my car, and it's the same situation that happens when somebody breaks into your house.
Yeah.
They break into your house with a baseball bat versus breaking your house with a loaded firearm versus breaking into your house with nothing. And then they turn and leave. Those are some questions that you need to pay attention to, because that's what I'm getting at as well. So
yeah, and Ted says if the guy reached into the kid's car to hit him, he may have felt his life was in danger, which to me gives him the right.
Great, Ted. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
And Shannon says, total guess, I don't own a gun.
Okay, Shannon, that's great. Shannon, why don't you own a gun? Can you, since I appreciate the comments and you have great, I think you've been on the show a couple of times here answering questions and stuff too. What is the one reason, if you feel comfortable, obviously, why you don't own a firearm? So
because I walk around in a Speedo all day and there's no place to conceal it.
Have you not been to jail? You seen what's it called? It's got Will Ferrell in it with Walking or Get Hard.
Get Hard.
That's the movie. Great movie. Where did you hide that? I got really good at sucking things in. What the hell? I did not. This wasn't even in the training. I watched YouTube videos on it. So
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, and Ted, So my number one question to Ted, and I really appreciate that comment because it's you think about it for a second, right? And then that's what kind of comes to your head. And when it comes down to, that makes sense that this guy's reaching in. That's the threat of life. The threat of life being different than the threat of being beaten up, right? Is really where that kind of hits, and you have to pay attention to, because with the realization that people, eh, real true gun owners that have done the training and paid attention to, taking a life is not something easy to do. And the residual effect of you, the one taking the life, you won't realize in that instant when you go to pull that or push that trigger, because you're acting as an emotional response.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you're acting in an emotional response, you're not thinking clearly. The dopamine and adrenaline that's being dumped into your system, you're trying to fight or flight. And whether you fight or flight with a tool or not is the key indicator here as well. Now, Ted, when he reached in the car to punch him, he's in a vehicle that has windows, that has a gas pedal, that has a thing that you can put in drive, and a steering wheel. Why don't you just leave?
Good point.
Huh?
That is a good point.
Okay.
Shana says, I surround myself with handsome, capable men and bright women that carry me.
Oh, I like it. Okay,
Lols.
sounds good. Yeah, that was
And
too
then
funny.
Sebastian says, are truck drivers allowed to have a firearm in their trucks for self-defense?
Great question, Sebastian. And it depends on yes and no. It depends on the state you live in. So if you live in a state like New York, you're not able to have a concealed carry. So anything carried in a vehicle on your persons requires a concealed carry license. I shared this on the episode last time. I got pulled over.
And you can't take guns across state lines, right?
You can, but you have to follow the state that you're going into's laws as well. And that's a common thing that happens a lot is people drive and mine's on me all times. Right. And then I get in my car, and if it's uncomfortable, and I sit in my car, I'll pull it out and put it in my center console, and I'll forget about it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if you cross state lines during the process of that, you could be crossing into a state that is not a concealed carry and it's supposed to be locked up. So the safest bet to travel with a firearm is in a gun case, unloaded, with the magazines in a separate location, unloaded as well. You will not have issues with police officers in any state with that, and it should be in a locked case, not accessible by you. So by definition in Illinois, if the gun is reachable and attainable to insert a magazine or a clip or anything to load the firearm, it requires a concealed carry permit. So even if you have it locked in your glove box, it's still able to be grabbed by you without exiting the vehicle or within arm's reach of where you are as well.
Now, in the same breath, and let's just do what Ted says here. But on the other hand, if you had a way to back away and drive off before the person gets to your car, that raises another question.
Exactly.
And Shana says, I appreciate the wisdom of saying a well-armed society is a polite society.
Have you been to Arizona? Because everyone's pretty nice out there.
So now at the same time, I don't care how mad I get. Yeah. In today's society, I don't know who has a gun and who doesn't.
Sure.
Why would I jump out of my truck?
Yep.
And go, put them up, dukes. No, listen. If the kid was cutting me off, or the person, or the man, or woman, or whatever the case is cutting me off, I usually tend to go, "Ooh, they're having a bad day. They're in a far bigger rush than I am. I'm gonna back down." Right. That's me.
Yep.
Roger, how are you?
Welcome in, Roger.
If the state does not have the castle law that considers your car your castle, you better get out and throw a punch or leave.
Beautiful. Roger, I'd love to know what the castle law is if you want to define that. For the viewers
that might be the stand your ground. That's like stand your ground down in Florida.
Yeah. And Roger's a huge gun advocate, and obviously,
he's from the East Coast, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
So it's not huge. It's huge.
Huge.
No H in there. Just huge. Human. Huge.
Yeah. So, truck drivers, yes, you should be able to do that. Make sure you follow the laws that you're going through as well. There might be special permits for different types of gun, for different truck drivers with different municipalities with that as well. But the state you are driving through prevails. So just like if you live in a state that allows municipal marijuana, and then you travel to a non-medicinal marijuana state,
Yep.
and you
You in
have it
trouble.
on you, you are facing charges in that state that you're on as well. And we watch Northwood Laws all the time. And Texas is not a municipal state, but people smoke weed all the time, and they get caught constantly. And they're just like, it's not a punishable thing. It's almost legal, but that's it as well. So
What if the gun? What if the gun has? It's loaded with rubber training bullets.
yeah, so you're gonna get into gray areas with that kind of stuff because number one, I would never recommend carrying training bullets on you as a person as a concealed carry. The point of having a concealed carry is to defend you. Oh my God, Ken just tried to shoot me with a rubber bullet. You know what's funny? It probably stick to my forehead right now. By the way, I almost got it too. So when you carry that tool, that was pretty bad. You think you need to go back to the range a little bit. You suck at shooting. So when you carry a loaded firearm as a concealed carry, the point is to use it as your life being in danger. And what I mean by that is that somebody's about to take your life is the only time you should ever pull your firearm. Pull it even, right? So I'm like you. Like I'm gonna try and my like Ted and a bunch of other people that have already commented here. I'm gonna try to de-escalate the situation. My first thought with getting in a fight with somebody or getting a verbal altercation or doing anything like that comes down to I'm going to try and de-escalate the situation because at the end of the day, I don't want to shoot you. Okay. I don't even want to get in a fight with you. I'm too old. I don't care. And whatever's happening right now, I'm going to look back in 20 minutes and go, I probably should have just walked away from this idiot freaking 20 minutes ago and just said, piss off, dude, have a good life, whatever. Or even still be the bigger person, like, hey, I'm sorry. Even if it's not my fault and it's clearly your fault, it happens all the time. You're driving down the road, someone cuts you off, clearly their fault or causes a big issue. And you just look back and go, is it really worth it?
Well, clearly in this incident,
yeah,
the dude left. He could have drove off. He drove off afterwards.
Yep.
Number one.
They met him in the driveway.
Number two, if I'm defending myself, I'm probably going to hang around.
Yep.
And be like, listen, this guy, I'm justified is what I would think. I wouldn't flee.
No.
Right.
No, and I mean, same your situation with being a gun pulled on you. It's not like you
right.
said, I'm done for the day. I'm going to go home. No, you know that there's a proper procedure that needs to be followed. You got to sit down. You got to talk to all the staff. You got to go talk to the police department what happened and hopefully find this guy that just pulled a gun and need to rob you for whatever dollars that were in the cash register as well.
Yeah, Ted says he thinks the castle law is it allows you to take a person's life if they're entering your property unwanted.
Yeah, so and it's there's some situations out there when people have walked into someone's house completely unarmed and somebody has shot them and they got charged. The only and it's hard, right? So if you break into my house, we all say it. You break into my house, I'm just going to shoot you. We ask questions.
And we don't know what was said on this videotape. We can't hear the.
Oh no, there's muffled noise of what's going on.
But sometimes all you got to do again go back to the red button is sometimes just pick up the firearm and go. Listen, I think you need to step away from my car.
Yeah, but even that itself is a charge.
Well, that's better than taking somebody's life.
100% correct. But if in that situation, put yourself in a situation where you're in a grocery store and somebody is robbing somebody at knife point. Okay, so they have a knife in their hand and they're threatening the cashier that I'm going to stab you. You pull your firearm out, right? Yeah. And you're standing there and you say, freeze. The next concealed carry owner that's in that place or non-concealed carry owner, in this case, in particular, case in point, has no idea of the situation that is literally happening in front of them, other than they might be coming around aisle 5 and all they see is you with a firearm up, pointing at somebody, and the cashier's freaked out. And the guy that's holding the knife is hidden behind the ketchup or
they may not even see the knife.
They can't see anything. They have no idea what the situation. Now, the next person that needs to pop into the situation is now making a decision to take your life. And you don't even realize that's happening because you're so focused on de-escalating the situation as well. At the end of the day, number one, Kent, when you get held up by gunpoint, what did you do?
I got on the floor, started talking to God real fast. Actually, I was like, okay,
Okay.
dude. Okay. That's what I said. Okay, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got on the floor because he asked me to. He didn't ask. He said, get on the floor unless you want to die. So
Yeah.
I got on the floor. That's what I did.
Um,
I didn't say in what position. We didn't have a conversation at that point. Like, well, do you want me face down, face up? Would you like me in the downward facing dog? No, I got on the floor.
did he rob you?
He robbed the bank. Yeah.
Okay, he robbed the bank.
Yeah.
He got away with money.
Yes. Yes.
No one was hurt other than psychologically, obviously.
That is correct. Thank
Okay.
God. Yeah. Thank God.
Is it your money?
No.
Is it even the bank's money?
No.
Who battery backed bank?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. I see. Yeah. You bet.
Okay, insurance on the bank.
Mhm.
It's not fucking worth it, people. Is all I'm
Yep,
trying to get
it
to
is
with
not.
this. It's not worth it in a gun. It's not worth it in a road rage incident. It's not worth it for any amount of money. It's not worth it for anything else. Taking someone's life is the hardest thing in the world to think about after the fact,
Yeah.
because whether charges are there or not, you have to live with the fact that you just took someone's life that is a family, a mother, a brother, a sister, or whatever the situation is, kids and all that kind of stuff. This guy definitely had a wife and kids.
Well, he owned a business, so he had employees.
I don't think he owned the business. I
No,
think he
he's
just worked
just
for
a
the
guy.
business.
Okay.
Which again comes down to our guys too. Like I can't imagine what the business is going through, and that made me think too. Like, hey guys,
Well,
have a conversation. Let's not have road rage incidents and de-escalate it. Call the police if you need to, and go from there. What's Shana say?
She says, Kent, are you glad you didn't have a choice to make with a weapon?
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Truthfully,
Mhm.
um,
It's a great question, Shana. Thanks.
and this is what I say. Hollywood makes it really glorious, and you'll see people kick guns out of hands and things like that.
Do some Jackie Chan
yeah,
stuff
right.
here.
It
You're not that fast,
right.
people. Just FYI.
The whole in and out, he was in and out in about 5 minutes, right? And truthfully, at the moment, even if I had one, I wouldn't have pulled it because of my main thought was not my safety. My main thought was the single moms who were tellers there, because I was the district manager, right? So these are people all reported to me. So my first priority was their safety. So even if I had a gun on me, I wouldn't. I would have chose to not do anything with it because I wanted everybody else to be safe.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And unless you are trained and have gone through a ton of training, I don't know. I mean, that's a hard thing for anybody to do that doesn't have the proper training, to just whip it out like like the old west, like pew pew, it's tough. But that's the honest to God truth. When I was in that situation, I was more thinking about the people around me than myself. And when I started talking to God, I even told God, I said, if somebody's going to die today, let it be me. Yeah. So
it's true.
Yep.
Shana added to that too as well.
Did it take a second to get your mind around the reality? I can't imagine. Okay, so
Yeah.
all right. So the interesting thing is, I was in the drive-through part, and I heard everybody get on the fucking floor, and the first thing that went through my head is like, Jesus Christ, not today. It was December 6th of 2006. I can remember. No, December 12th, 2006. 12/12/2006, and
So psychologically, guys, if you didn't know, it hadn't affected Ken
Right.
at all in his life that he remembered the exact date.
So 9:20. So
9:23 p.m.
When I turned around now, I again, for the people who can't see me or don't know me, I am bald. Not by choice. I'm naturally bald, and I'm a white guy. So I have to say that, not to be racist, but
Sure.
When I was headed away from the front counter to go get ready to call 911, and I heard, and that means you. So he had jumped over over the teller line. And as I turned around, some of the tellers said it was like a cartoon. When you turned around and you saw him pointing that gun just feet away from you, your face, all the color in your face went from your chin to the back of your neck. You just went white. It was like, and then they go, and then when you said, okay, dude, okay, the color came back. and And they're like, it was really funny to see. So 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 it was I you didn't, and I had here's the truth is I had a pen in my hand,
Yep.
and I set the pen down because I didn't want him to think it was a weapon.
Slowly put the pen down.
That's what I did.
I'm not going to stab you with it, I promise.
And because I didn't, you don't know, right? And the FBI was like, everything you did was spot on. And I go, that's God. I don't know what I was doing. I was scared to death. I'm surprised I didn't shit myself.
Yep.
I was wearing a brown suit, so it'd have been okay.
Your pants were brown afterwards.
Yeah.
Just the street.
Street. So it didn't, because I wasn't in the direct line when he came running in and said, everybody get on the fucking floor. What I said was, this is unbelievable. Then when I was held at point blank, I was like, whoop. Yep. I'm going to just set this pen down. I don't want you to think it's anything. I'm going to get on the floor. Yeah.
So we've had a discussion before, but I'll have it today too. At the end of the day, even for me, like, and I just had my first, I've been around guns my whole life, but my first actual training class with pulling from a holster. And it is a weird feeling. I did a lot wrong. And Tom was gracious enough to have that and let us go through that and be able to see what I learned. More than anything, it's not as fast as you think it is. It's really slow. And we had videos of it. So we took a couple of videos of each of us doing it. And, we could poke fun of what we did. But what I think about is if I'm in a situation and I need to unholster my weapon and make it a weapon and not a tool, then I'm going to, how long does that take?
Yeah.
It's a couple seconds. This guy is already pointing a gun at you.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're having to reach somewhere. Okay. Lift up a shirt, pull.
Because you have it concealed.
Yeah. Because it's concealed. It's not open carry. So you're now having to pull this out, chest to aim. So this guy's already here. He's already on step 5.
Right.
And I'm on step 0. So now you got to go 0 to 5 real quick. Number 1 problem. Number 2 problem is all he needs to do is push the trigger and I'm gone. Okay. And at point blank, you're not going to miss. The second problem is now you have this adrenaline running, right? So, and I did it when I did it with my team that came out with me and did it with us. I could tell they were taking their time. I put myself under stress because it's the safest place to put myself under stress and not hurt anybody. Okay. Yeah. So when I got up to the line, and Tom had me go first because he knows that I'm going to think things through and I'm going to do things the safest way. And not that he doesn't trust the people that we're with, because I did, because we did. I'm going to push myself. And it's the best place to do it because I'm in a gun range under safe supervision and I only have a set number of bullets in my pocket and I know what I'm shooting at and it's safe. So I pulled as quickly as I could, as fast as I could with being safe. And I'm going, man, that was 3 seconds.
Yeah.
3 seconds. Yeah. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. That's a long freaking time. And it was bang, 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 bang. Okay, there's another second added onto that. So there are 4 seconds to do whatever. The scariest part about that, and what you need to understand, is you own every single bullet that comes out of that gun. Every single one. So that bang, bang, that was a shoulder shot. I still hit the target. Yep. Might have gone through the shoulder and hit the 12-year-old behind me that was the smartest kid on the planet that was going to cure cancer. Right. That kid's gone. And I just made cancer worse because that kid can't do what its life that he needed to do to make it sure it happened. Or he hit the mom that's pregnant, that has the holy grail of a child inside their, womb. So there's a lot that kind of goes into, you need to think about a lot. And again, laws are put in place for certain reasons. Whether we agree with those laws or not, it's the collective of the community to make those laws happen. How I feel about gun laws is already been on a Southern show. I think everyone should have a right to own a gun. I think there should be no restrictions on it. And I think it would be a different world if we had no restrictions on that, because people would not get into fights. And I think it'd be a little more peaceful society with different things because everyone's there.
And people ask me, but I'll say this.
Yeah.
Obviously, the young man who held me up had used a gun in the past. I mean, because it was a big hand cannon and he could have just pop. Right. I mean, it's a very intense situation for that person.
For sure.
So for him to not, push that trigger. So even at coming out of it, I'm like, well, okay, he he could have took my life. He could have took a lot of people's lives. He could have took his.
Yep.
He chose not to. He was able to control that weapon in a shake as he's trying to also fill bags with cash.
Sure.
You know,
He's desperate.
yeah.
He's robbing a bank with a gun.
In
That
the morning.
dude is the most desperate dude in the
Right.
world.
Right.
He has literally gotten to the point where he woke up that morning, loaded a firearm, got in his car, chose a location, walked in the bank, and has made a decision that I am crossing a line, and it's a freaking fat line. I'm going to jump over that freaking line.
Yep.
And now I'm going to be pursued by the federal government from robbing a bank.
Yep.
I do not know who's in this building. I haven't cased the building, and maybe he did, and who knows the situation of who he was. Did he ever get caught, by the way? I don't think I've asked that. No. So at the same time, what does it matter? It's not your money. It doesn't matter. Just comply, move on with life. Right. If I were in that bank with you, and I can truthfully say that because I know me, I would never pull my firearm. If I see the guy yelling and screaming and pointing a firearm at you and white as you be, even more than you are right now, ghostly white, which is impossible because you're white as white. You're almost see-through. I'll call you Casper from now on. So even in that situation, right, I would not, my first intention wouldn't be to let me pull my firearm and shoot this guy dead point blank. Right. Now, if this guy walked into the bank and started shooting, into the ceiling or into people, that is an automatic trigger that I'm going to go, yep, I'm going to defend the public right now. And it's my right to be able to pull this firearm or not. And I'm going to do it because at the end of the day, that dude's killing people and I'm going to stop it. So we're going to stop it one way or another. And that's it. And I have to own each bullet. Like I said, every single bullet I shoot, I own no matter where that thing goes. Well, I tried to save 50 people, but I killed the 12-year-old. Yeah, well, you're not the right guy to be shooting, so you probably should have just put that thing in your pocket and called it a day.
I'm surprised you took it inside the bank because we have a sticker there that says no handguns allowed.
I'm gonna. It's for my gun enthusiasts out there. Just FYI, a sticker is not going to stop me from carrying in your business.
Send your emails to 216.
Yes, and just FYI, every other concealed carry owner out there does the same thing.
That's right.
You will want that in that building when you need it the most, and your sticker is not going to save you.
So it's like this. In my, and let's go back to your question.
Yeah.
In my situation, I would, if that guy didn't pop off a round and I shot him, I would probably be sitting in jail right now.
Nope, I don't think you would.
You don't think so?
And that's where the believe your life is at threat. I'm going to say this, and people might be mad or not be mad. When you finally fire your firearm, if you need to, and you feel your life is in danger, a dead witness doesn't talk. You won't find his intentions. You won't find his ill. You also won't find a defense prosecutor ripping apart your marriage, ripping apart your career, your habits, your buying habits, your searches on the internet, and everything else in the world. That lawyer's paid to defend the person that did something wrong, which got them in jail. So, and I don't feel bad about saying that because if the situation arised where that person did pull a firearm and you did shoot him and kill him, I don't see a prosecutor pursuing you as he's robbing a bank and he's got a gun to your head. That would justify, in my eyes, and I could see it in a law being justified because you have weapon versus weapon. You have a firearm versus a handgun versus handgun. Let's rewind this for a second, and I don't mean to keep talking about this Streamwood incident, but now let's think about if the HVAC guy that got out of his car and ran back to start the confrontation had a gun in his hand, and stuck that gun in the window. Okay. And then that 18-year-old, even though he's not supposed to have a concealed carry in his car, shoots the guy. In my eyes, that 18-year-old is justified.
Yeah.
Because he has a threat for threat. The threat of dying is not I'm getting beaten up. The threat of dying is not I'm kind of hurt. The threat of dying is this person has a chokehold on me, is pulling the air out of my lungs, and is going to kill me. And I have some like castle. I do want to jump into castle, so we got to stay 5 minutes here. I have the definition of the castle doctrine in here as well. Can you get Shayna's up there real quick?
Yeah, so Shayna says, let's not assume everyone carrying legally is capable of the incredible emotional control.
100%. Yes, thank you. If you do not have the emotions to be able to carry a loaded firearm every single day, don't do it.
But it's my right.
Great, it's your right. But you have a moral responsibility as a human being that if you don't have the emotional responsibility to be able to carry that firearm, you're the person that should not be carrying a firearm.
But it's my right.
100%. And I agree. 100%, you're right. But just know that your emotional response might trigger a non-emotional response for me because of your emotion, and you might end up dead yourself. Again, i.e., someone's holding a knife to a cashier, and I come around aisle 5 and I see someone pointing a gun at a cashier, and I can't see that guy that's hounding him, and I don't know the situation, and you're screaming at him, put it down or lay down or whatever your commands you're trying to give this person. I have a choice at that moment to shoot you or not, and I will be justified because I will not shoot an unjustified shot. I will shoot 100% justified, and that's it with that. So the castle doctrine states that if a person's dwelling or occupied building is invaded or burglarized, the occupant can use deadly force without warning shot, calling 911, or a belief in that person. 23 states have castle doctrines: Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Iowa, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Nebraska, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Dakota, Ohio, Oregon, Rhode Island, Virginia, Washington, and Wisconsin. I knew it through the list. You can rewind it and listen to it again if you'd like. The law extends the right to self-defense up to and including deadly force in a victim's dwelling, now including an attached porch, deck, patio, occupied vehicle, or under any other dwelling or vehicle that the victim legally occupies. A place of work that includes the castle provision under circumstances as well.
There it is.
A lot of legal information on there as well. I don't think. And then it throws up the questions of concealed carry in the vehicle. Right. Can you conceal carry in those vehicles at all? The law states for Illinois that you're not allowed to conceal carry in your firearm or have access to it. The castle law probably is the point where that 18-year-old could have had a whim if that guy come up to you with a firearm and actually tried to shoot a shot off you or pointed the firearm at you, and you use that gun that you're not supposed to have in there as a castle dwelling and shooting the HVAC guy that was out there. Again, it comes down to the situation that comes on to as well. So the best part about all this, guys, there's classes out there. You can take a concealed carry class without the intention of concealed carrying.
And you can go to any gun store.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Usually has or knows where you can sign up for classes.
There's a lot of local ones out here that you can go to. There's a lot of ones that, do it right, don't do it right. There's independents out there too. Pay attention to reviews, pay attention to the content that's out there. My biggest suggestion when it comes down to gun ownership is knowledge is power. So the person that gives the most knowledge and under justification for what it is, concealed carry classes teach you self-defense because that's what it's about. It's when you sit through those classes, you can literally be able to jump into what the laws are, how they read, and what you can and cannot do. My concealed carry instructor was phenomenal when I took it, and it felt so good to understand because I got to ask a lot of good questions and have the real knowledge that comes out of it to make sure that you have the right information that's out there. At the end of the day, don't do something that you're going to regret later on, right? And own every bullet that comes out of that firearm, whether you like it or not. And you want to make sure that the people around you are as safe as you. You might be taking out a bad guy, but you're going to take out an innocent in the process. That does not wash itself out. Right. That actually is a very hard negative for me. And people talk about it casually, like, oh, I would do this, I would do that. But Kent, you're right. You're not going to karate kick this gun out of there. You're not going to do a Jackie Chan and grab the barrel, and then all these springs and pieces are going to come out of a firearm. It's not that simple. We've taken apart firearms on the show. We'll take apart firearms more on the show to make sure on there as well. So in the comments out there, I want to see what questions you guys have for the next show in 2 weeks for the live show. And I will bring in either a shotgun, a rifle, a revolver, a semi-automatic pistol, and we can just deconstruct some stuff. I can bring my AR back on the show too, and we can put some live stuff on the air to be able to answer questions about how things work. If you have questions about how to carry, what holster I use, all that kind of stuff, I want to hear that you guys want to hear that, and I'll be more than happy to bring that stuff on the show as well. So
C-Biz says, call me after the podcast.
Sounds great.
And Shana says, I just saw a kids event being offered at a local range for that purpose. Nerf guns.
Cool.
There are schools out there, high schools, who
yes.
have shooting teams.
Yeah. It's an Olympic sport, by the way.
Yeah. So
it's ski and shoot, I think is what it is.
Tons of places to learn gun safety and gun control.
Pay attention to your laws in your local state, guys. Okay. Thank you so much. Hope you learned some stuff on the show. We'll see you again in 2 weeks. Can't take it away.
Come back tomorrow morning at 7:30. We've got The Grounds with Giles and Jones, followed by Bridging Civil Tension, followed by The Neighborhood Pulse, followed by Steph and Joe in the Know, followed by The Dream Home Experts tomorrow. Live show from Quiet Cool Studios, 8 p.m. Do not miss it.
Oh, man, it's a good show, guys.
It's a good show.
It's going to be a great show.
Bravos here, 21.6net. Thanks for getting caught in the net with us. Remember to be good, and more importantly, be good to each other.